One of the hottest topics right now on everyone's mind is ETFs, institutional money coming into cryptocurrency. What does it mean for your portfolio? How high are they going to push the price of Bitcoin? And when are they all going to dump their bags? I'm going to break down some key things in this video, specifically around where the price of Bitcoin is going to go, why we've seen a massive long position taken with Bitcoin, and who really is flocking into these ETFs. All of that in this video. Don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. If you want to go and trade all your favorite cryptocurrencies, do check out the links in the description. It does help out the channel, and you've got a bargain if you're looking for a DeFi project. Check out Marbitz.io. That thing is a brilliant project. Some big announcements coming over there as well. Now, with that being said, let's get into the video. So we know that last week we saw massive inflows into ETFs. I think it's worth noting we saw $125 billion topped out on the market cap, which is as high as we've been for the longest time, with a relentless amount of buying coming in from IBIT, which is the BlackRock ETF. You can see here, $129 million just on the 16th, 400 million, 232 million, as well as significant buying pressure coming in. Yes, we saw selling on grayscale as always. I mean, look, they haven't had a day for about the last 3 weeks where they bought anything, but they're mini, they do seem to be buying. And actually, asset inflows looked pretty positive. Over 10,000 Bitcoin put into the iShares Bitcoin Trust over the last week. Now, what's interesting is when you start breaking down more specifically what BlackRock hold, they are the keys to an absolute massive bull run. And people may say, well, that's not true. There's lots of other people that are in it. But the reality here is BlackRock controls so much of most equity markets that they want this position in Bitcoin. So let's talk about what they hold and how this could be more important going forward. Well, the reality is, going through these ETFs, approval back in 2024, we've seen BlackRock continuing to buy and hold on to their cryptocurrency. They'd rather hold Bitcoin than Bitcoin futures contracts, as well as trade on regulated stock exchanges and much, much more. So what do they actually hold? Well, they obviously hold a substantial amount of Bitcoin. In fact, they are on their way to holding the second most amount of Bitcoin as a traded financial markets. We know that strategy is one of those bigger ones, but they are absolutely stacking their bags. And it is important to reference here that they are backing all their ETFs with that Bitcoin. But not only do they have the Bitcoin that they supported on those IBITS ETFs, they also have shares in MicroStrategy, Coinbase, and Tesla. Very interesting. In fact, Coinbase recently is moving forward with their coin and going onto the derivative market, as well as many others, which I think is very, very important and is a leader in cryptocurrency. And they also get involved with other slight different marketing ploys with BlackRock. So they tend to get involved in things like Coinbase custodies and also into other avenues. Holding around 600,000 Bitcoin is probably a pretty decent place to get into. But the fact of the matter is that they want more. They continue to buy as they move towards reduced market volatility, regulatory acceptance, as well as supply shock potentials. We've talked about this so many times on the channel. So important to think about this. IBIT is buying. Therefore, everyone else is absolutely on the cards. And we're seeing more and more of this as investors are now flocking to ETF products, and we'll see XRP ETFs as well as many, many others. Experts suggest continued ETF interest could increase demand for cryptocurrencies. That would be very bullish indeed. You've even got people like Robert Kiyosaki giving his view that this bull market, we could even see $250,000 this year. Now, many people predict we're going way over 200,000. Mike Novogratz gave a very similar price prediction, as well as many others think that 200,000 is, well, pretty cheap when we get into it. But a lot has to happen. The reality is, though, people are going big, and they're going big for a reason. The last 3 times the 50-day moving average did cross the 100-day moving average on the daily chart for Bitcoin, we saw a rally of around 70%. It failed only once, July 2023. But in my opinion, this could run still be considered part of the first crossing, followed by the correction. So again, could we see Bitcoin rallying to that 150, 160? Definitely people starting to talk about how that could play out. And I guess, well, traders feel the same way as well. There have been some enormous positions put on. We talk about trading on the channel. We can't keep up to date with what's going on with liquidity, but look at this. This wallet has a pretty substantial 40x $390 million long position on BTC, along with XRP as well, by the way, they allow. Now you may say, well, but that's fine. Who cares? Like, it's, they've done it. But look at this. They are continuing to buy. Not only continuing to buy, they are adding to their position and they are adding to it long. They are very optimistic, but you could also argue, do they know something is coming? You can see here, only about 5 hours ago at the point of recording this video, they actually dropped another $103,000 into it. as well as a further 97 Bitcoin. So they really are getting involved and they really are stacking it. And it's don't just take my words for it. There are actually significant number of traders now really going in on this and really starting to uptrend the market. 60% right now have an upside feeling that the market's going to turn bullish. And again, the reality is we need to get out of the weekend for us to see that. So when you kind of put all this together, you've got humongous institutional money flowing into the market. You've got optimism returning from retail, but not quite here yet. And you've got a bullish pattern on the daily charts. What's interesting, if you go to the weekly, it looks even crazier. The fact that we're just seeing this little consolidation phase is almost good news because it sets us up for that break above that line that we're looking for around 106,000, potentially then going on for further moves. When you've got Trump getting deals in Qatar and all the rest of it in the Middle East, he's now back in the US. Expect something coming this week. We were talking about it last week. Are we going to get some pretty interesting US macroeconomic news? Well, obviously we got PPI came in this week. That was pretty good. Next week we're into PCE, which again could just signal inflation rate cuts are coming. But unfortunately, Jerome Powell is still slightly behind where we want him to be. So keep your eye out for it. Institutional money is not slowing down. And at some point, the sellers will become empty. And at that point, I think we're going to see a significant upside move when it comes to BTC. Is it next week? Is it the week after? Well, it's worth subscribing to the channel to make sure that you don't miss out. And also smash that like button so that everyone else can follow what's going on in this market. We break it down every single day here on the 2Bit Crypto channel. So let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. What's your view on institutional investment? Good news, or does it take away the element of decentralization of Bitcoin? Until then, though, thanks so much for watching. We'll see you soon. Bye-bye.